Greetings from wherever you are and welcome to the PR Expert Guru Show. My name is Janet Kiriswo and I would like to thank my production, the Wala Mpekuzi production. Now, we set a background on public relations on the other session, and if you did not watch, then you'll have to go back and check through this channel, the Kenya Universal News, the Public Relations Guru Show. Now, we defined public relations, and it's all about the relationship between the organization, the company, and the public. Not just a relationship. There is a lot of work that needs to be done because this relationship is a transaction of services and products. Now, we want to also expound more on how we can get deeper and deeper into making public relation help you in your organization or your business. And remember, I am not focusing on big organizations only or companies. We have different businesses. The business that you started is your organization because with time, you're expecting it to grow. Now, I am targeting to capture the mind of you as an organization, the company, the CEOs, the employer, the employee, and the client. And today, we are going to touch more also on the client. And remember, we defined the difference between the marketing department and the PR, and the communication department and the PR. And we said, long gone are the days where this department just made their own decision. You have to include a public relations officer in order to smoothen up things. And this is where teamwork comes in. Welcome to today's session. Now, we want to look at the advantages of you having a public relation in your organization. You will argue, I've been doing so well. What are you telling me? My business is booming. My services are booming. Well, you can do even much better if only you give me your ear. Now, the PR office that you will set up in your organization if you don't have one will offer a set of advantages to your organization in terms of helping you grow internally and externally. When we say internally, I include you as the organization and vision bearer, the people you have employed, those are the employees, and the clients that you target to serve. Now, a public relations person will help you improve media communications and media relations. You need the media in one way or another. You need the media. Now, you can also get advantages like generating leads in terms of where to go next with your product, and that will attract growth. You'll also get advantages of heightened brand recognition. Your brand will start getting known here and there in a good way and much better than it was known. And also, to achieve all this, as a vision bearer and as the organization, you need to be ready in terms of knowing and understanding the goals that you have. You need to have very clear goals. You need to be correct with what you need. Reason being, you are the only person who knows where your company needs to be in the next 6 months. So you need to be correct with what you need. And this is where the PR person comes in to help you make the correct. Now, the other thing also is you need to have a clear picture. You need to have seen this work somewhere. And you need to have seen this succeed in order for you to come and make it succeed. And this is where the public relation person comes in. The other thing also, you need to be logical about the goals that you set. They are achievable. You just don't come up with something and then you expect the employees to achieve something that you yourself do not believe in. And then there's the call of action. And this is where I come in. And remember, PR is all about the press, the public, and your publicity. Now, we want to dive into the advantages of PR in your organization. And how do you apply them before I get into the real advantages? Number one, do you have a social media presence? And is it active? Yeah, someone will tell you, I have an organization, it's so and so. I just check it out on Facebook. Yeah, on this account, I am there. But when you get there, it is not active. Yes, you are there, but you're not active. So this is where I come in terms of social media activation, your digital presence. We have major platforms in social media where people are really making a kill for their businesses. Of course, we have the X account. This X account cannot really apply to all businesses, clearly. Not all businesses, specific ones. But you cannot assume it. You need to have that X account. The other thing is the Facebook. This one is the most famous and has really helped millions of businesses. And if your presence is just there as a page, but no action, then it means you need to activate it. You need to make the actions. You need to show people that you have something and you have this and you need them and you need to do this and this regularly, and I'll help you know how to do it. The other thing also, we have Instagram. Instagram has helped a lot of people who are doing maybe self-employment work come out in a big way, because it just takes the discipline and consistency when you're doing your work, when you're applying these services, how you're posting them, when you're selling this product and how you're selling the product. Remember the example of the mushroom soup? Is it just mushroom soup, mushroom soup, mushroom soup? Or you have something else, you've mixed it with something else, you're serving it with something else. What is it coming with? So those are the type of activations that I'm speaking about. And to dive more into that, of course, you will need to have someone like me on board. The other thing is also publicity, internally and externally. Let's look at it internally. In internal communication, we are talking about you as the vision bearer, and then as the employer, you will employ employees, of course. But on what basis? Are you taking professionals, or are you just taking based on this is my relative, this is my friend? And we're going to digest the advantages and disadvantages of doing that. But first, as I lay this foundation on why PR is important internally, it is because when you take employees on merit, they will give you exactly what you need. And these employees, how do you relate with them? Because you will depend on them to relate to the public on your behalf. These employees, you will depend on them to reach out to your clients, and whatever the client gets is what the public will get, because the client will go out there and say, this is how I was served. Now, employee services, you would want to have professionals. Of course, you can't bring someone on board to make mushroom soup if that person does not have any experience on making mushroom soup. If at all that person does not have an experience, then it means you will start teaching that person on how to do that. All right? Now that is employer relations with the employee. Now the other thing also is your relationship between the employer and the employee. When you do employ someone who is there professionally, then it saves you a lot of work, time, and stress. But when you employ someone whom you know is a relative, a friend, then you will not blame anyone when you have conflicts arising, like conflict of interests. You know, if you're my uncle, why are you punishing me this much? You're my uncle, come on. You know, if you're my husband, why are you giving me these orders in front of the employees? Call me aside and lecture me, you see? So these are unnecessary things that you don't need in the organization. Also, if you're a husband and a wife in an organization, if clearly you're not in the top positions there, or you're not in different departments, then at some point they don't really work, because you will not get the transparency and the openness that you require. The reason being, there's no way a husband will betray a wife, and there's no way a wife will betray the husband. So I hope you're getting my point. Avoid conflict of interest, especially when creating an internal group that will help you continue your business. The next thing also is employer and employer relation. The next thing is employee and employee relations. Do these employees know each other? Did you introduce the first employee to the second to the third? How do they get to meet, talk, discuss? How did you bring them together? Some will tell you, I use the divide and rule method. Well, it depends on how serious you take your organization. But if you take your organization seriously, then you will want employees that relate with each other well. And this is where now I come in. There are so many factors that make these relationships very easy. Now, as employer and employee relations continue at the workplace, then it means if it is good, it will be smoothened and it will flow down to the client. When the client comes in, the employee will represent what you as the employer wants. And the client will get exactly what you as the employer wants your clients to get in terms of products and services. Now, what is the relationship between the employee and the client? How is it? It's just a service basis, come, go, please, if you're not satisfied, just go away, you see? And then what is the relationship between the employer and the client? You see? Because there has to be a way you people will communicate. When the client is not satisfied, he or she will overlook the employee and will want to meet the employer. And this is where now you get issues like, I want to see your manager. I want to see your manager. I want to see your boss. So how do you work? How do you go along with such issues? This is where the internal communication needs to be put in check, needs to be dived into for you as the organization and the vision bearer to understand and how to make it flow. Now, this is where the communication is this way. If you get it as at the top management level, then you will bring the communication down to the person helping you, the assistant manager and the employees. And then the employees will take that same vibe to the client. And then the client will take the vibe to the many masses out there, which is the public, which you're targeting to please by all means. So it stays like this. This is just my example. But when the organization is not even in sync together, then everything is this way. So how are you getting these products? How are you getting them out? How are you getting these services out in a good way? You see, there is no way you can tell finger A is going to finger, but when you do this, then it shows there is a structure. Now, will you side with the client and accuse your employee? Or will you side with the employee and tell the client, you know, if you're not getting the best, please, there's so many companies out there, go away. Yeah, so those are the things that I deal with to make sure that you get satisfied and everything is done, even in your absence. Now, we will also look at the external publicity between the employee and client relations, the employer and client relations, of course, client and client relations. You know, we go out here, we start gossiping. Did you meet that lady? That lady does not serve well. Did you meet that guy? Oh my God, I'll not go back there. So client and clients also meet out there in one way or another. So those are just a few things, laying a foundation into why you need me as the public relations person in your organization. You need a professional officer in terms of public relations. Now, there is a lot that we can dive into, but I hope by now you have a foundation of what I'm targeting to ensure at the end of the day you count your profits and you count them so well. If you like this program, these sessions, and you like more concerning such, then I'll be glad to communicate with you. I'll be glad to be on board with you and see how you can help your organization grow, how you can help your small business grow. I'd like to say thank you for tuning in to the Kenya Universal News Channel, to the Public Relations Guru Show. My name is Janet Kiriswo. Thank you to the Wala Mpekuzi Production for such a platform.